I think I now understand why YouTubers carry a little cup in their hands, because it gives your hand something to do. Not sponsored. Everyone seems to say that. I don't know why. Like anyone cares about that. No one does. In today's video, we're going to be talking about things I like about Creed 3 and things I don't like about Creed 3. And if you stay to the end, I will also rate this film out of 10. This film is Michael B. Jordan's directorial debut, and I'm sure it was a massive task for him and also the studio. It would have been probably a very nerve-wracking thing for them to take such a big franchise and put it at the helm of Michael B. Jordan, who is a first-time director. So it would have been quite the financial risk for them. Now, I don't think this film sucked. I just felt it lacked a bit of heart, because I had to go and see Creed 2 to make sure that I wasn't being a dick about this, because I want to be fair to this film. I want people to like this film, and I want people to go and see this film. However, when I compared it to Creed 2, I felt it lacked a bit of heart, and that's okay. Adonis is now a retired boxing champion. He's relaxed, he's rich, his family seems to be going quite well. His wife is still producing music, and he has a daughter who is now grown up, but as we saw in Creed 2, she's also deaf, but it's all going well for his family. Till one day, his childhood friend shows up at the gym after being in jail for about 18 years. See, his childhood friend went to jail for 18 years because he had 2 priors. And in America, if you have 2 priors, if you commit the next crime, you will go to jail. See, Adonis was having a fight with someone in front of a liquor store. It was a fist fight. His childhood friend thought it was a good idea to break up this fist fight using a gun, which is a silly idea, because as soon as he brought out the gun in public to break up a fist fight, the police arrived at that immediate moment. Damien is now back in present day, and he feels as though he was abandoned by Adonis, not to mention that now Adonis is a champion, also retired, rich champion. He feels as though all the awards and accolades and lifestyle that Adonis is living right now rightfully should have been his had he not tried to protect Adonis in the first place. That's your movie right there. This film feels like Southpaw with Jake Gyllenhaal meets Warrior with Tom Hardy. If you've seen this movie, well, these 2 movies, then you're going to love this movie, because the Southpaw aspect of this is the modern, upbeat, hip-hop type of things added into it, and the Warrior aspect of it is basically 2 brothers solving their problem with a fist. Well, both fists. Fisticuffs. Fist, you get it. What I like about this movie, it takes guts to make a film. And I'm sure this would have been one of the most nerve-wracking experiences for Michael B. Jordan, being that it's his first directing gig. So I was excited to sort of go there and see if he fucks this up. And I feel as though he didn't. He's a first-timer, and this is going to be rough, and this is going to be hard, and I'm sure he did his best. I mean, I watched the film and I think he did the best he could do. Second thing I enjoy about this film is obviously Jonathan Majors. He bodies every role he plays in, and he's got this thing he does with his mouth, which almost kind of looks like Tom Hardy, and in some ways it also feels as though Jonathan Majors knows something that he wouldn't let us in on. That's how I feel. He's got this, he's always kind of doing like this. You know the look, you know it. Thirdly, I grew up watching all the Rocky franchises, so of course I'm going to show up and watch this. I'm sure that's why you're here, because you want to know, is it worth me continuing to follow this franchise? I think it is. The fourth thing I like about this film, which I really think should have probably been the second, is that Michael B. Jordan and Jonathan Majors have good chemistry on screen, so it is very believable, and I feel on that standpoint alone, you could go and see this film. It also has a dope-ass soundtrack. Now, things I don't like about this film. This film lacks heart. I don't think Creed 3 has a compelling story. I looked at Creed 2 and then I came back to Creed 3 just to see, do the stories make you feel anything? Creed 2 makes you feel something. Creed 3, I feel as though it's a movie that we're going to forget in about a week. Here is why. In Creed 2, you have Drago, who is, or Victor Drago, who is trying to impress his father as well as gain the approval of his father. That's the reason why he's fighting, to also keep his father's legacy going. And then you have Adonis on the other side trying to defend the legacy of his father, being that his father died in the ring at the hands of Drago.
Creed appears to be in very serious condition.
The man alive.
If he dies, he dies.
That's a compelling story, because if you think about it, having to watch, a press conference where they show your father getting killed by the enemy, which is Drago.
A press conference was held earlier by boxing promoter Buddy Marcel.
We came all the way to Philly to let you know it's serious. Now, this man here, he ain't no Danny Wheeler. And let's be honest, Creed fought him 3 years too late anyway. Easy bags. This is the fight the whole world wants to see. And this is the fight he should take, unless he's afraid of history repeating itself.
That history being the infamous 1985 match in which boxing legend Apollo Creed was killed by Russian fighter Ivan Drago.
It would motivate you to do something. Now, juxtaposed to Creed 3, the main driving point here is that Damien is angry that he brought out a gun to a fist fight and was arrested, and Adonis ran away. What do you expect a 15-year-old kid to do? And why do you have a gun in public when you have 2 priors? That's just damn stupid. So, I mean, I can understand he has a chip on his shoulder, but this is not Adonis's fault. So it's not enough of a driving force for Adonis to take any action whatsoever. Now, Adonis does take an action in this film where he decides that he feels he owes Damien a life, because Damien was obviously protecting him when he went to jail. So he got Damien a fight with the current reigning champ, which was nice enough in the first place. Damien fought the guy, won, which means Damien is now also a champ, which means Adonis doesn't owe anything to him. The angle that the film went down was Damien decided to go to different gyms, different locations, different TV outlets, and tell everyone that Adonis is a coward, blah, 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 and so on and so forth, which no adult in the world will be motivated by. It would not make me want to go and fight him in the first place, because I already have my money. I have my family, everyone's chilling, everything is fine. However, somehow Adonis got emotional and decided that he was going to take a fight with Damien. It's just not a compelling story. It's okay, it's a story, but it's nothing like Creed 2. The motivation is not strong enough. I digress. This film's cinematography rubs me a little bit wrong. I was spoiled from the previous installments of the Creed franchise, and I feel as though they had a smooth, well-compositioned shots, and this one went for the handheld feel, which is fine, but I just don't feel like it's a very beautiful film. Not to mention they didn't use the colorist they usually use, which is Company 3. Company 3 is a company that color grades all the films, majority of the films you see in cinema. And this time around for Creed 3, for some reason, they skipped using Company 3 to do it. And I noticed that because the film is not as pretty as it could have been. But that's just me. I'm a nerd about this stuff. I care way too much about how films look. You don't have to, because you just enjoy the film, and that's totally fine. So don't listen to me. I also feel as though Creed 2 felt more expensive than Creed 3. It had a richer feel to it. I don't know if anyone else is feeling that, but if you can, I feel watch Creed 2, then watch 3. Creed 2 feels way more quality. I just don't know why. That's how I see it. Another thing I don't enjoy about this film is that Sylvester Stallone was not brought on board at all, nor did he reprise his role. Now, these characters were created by Sylvester Stallone. However, he doesn't have the rights to these characters because during the contract, he was fooled because he was a younger actor who was hungry and wanted to get this film made the first time. So he didn't know he was signing over the character's rights. So he doesn't really have an input and they can take him out whenever they want. He wanted to have Creed 3 be more sentimental and heartfelt, but Michael B. Jordan, being at the helm of this film, did not want to go down that angle, and they basically overwrote his decisions for it. However, he's still an executive producer because it's still his idea, but he didn't have much hand in this film. And I feel like it really kind of hurt this film. I feel it. The second to last thing I don't like about this film is there was a coy thing they were trying to do there to let us know that Adonis might be the next Creed film we might watch maybe somewhere down a couple of years from now in the franchise. Because at the end of the film, they show Amara in the ring sparring with Dad after he had finished his big fight, and I just thought that was too coy. It was a little on the nose. I know what you're trying to do, trying to keep this franchise going, and I am all for it, but I just don't feel like the viewers are that dumb. My final thing on my little hatred train is Adonis parks his Rolls Royce in Crenshaw, Los Angeles, and wound his window down and walked out of the car in Crenshaw, Los Angeles. People get shot there all the time and robbed, and this guy parked a Rolls Royce, wound the window down. I just felt like this only happens in movie world, and it takes me out. I know it's a silly thing to care about, but I was just kind of like, no one will park the car right here and then leave the window down. It's just kind of silly. You're asking for it at this point. That's how I feel. Should you watch this film? Absolutely. It's a good movie. I wouldn't say it's a great movie, but it's a good movie. Now, as I say on this channel, no film is inherently bad. It's just not for you. This film was kind of not for me, but I think it's a film that everyone should see nonetheless if you've been watching the whole Creed franchise or the whole Rocky franchise. So it's it's good to go and complete the loop, so to speak. Also, it's better that you see this movie in cinema because I don't think it would pack enough punch at home. Also, don't spend a lot of time overthinking this film like I have. I feel as though I have to overthink a film because then I can deliver it online and people can sort of make their decisions from there. I think this film is actually quite entertaining to watch, and people should go and watch it. Thanks for hanging out, especially if you stayed till the end of this video. I really appreciate you because I feel I ramble a little bit. So thank you. I hope to see you around some more.